Alright everybody, in the previous lesson we learned about the integer type and the double type in R. Here we will tackle characters and logical vectors. Let's get to it. Characters. These are vectors that can store text data. You can save a single character into a character vector or longer strings by putting them in quotation marks, like this. Now, if I check what basic type this char object is, R will tell me that it's a character, right? Right. Okay, let me do another example. See if you can figure out what's happening there. Char2, because I don't want R to overwrite my char object. And then the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. Check its type. Character. But it has the number 42 in it, doesn't it? And didn't I say earlier that vectors can only store elements of the same basic type? Yes, I did. What's happening here then? Well, we put the number 42 in quotation marks. Effectively, we told R that it is actually a character string and not a numerical value. You see, the elements of a character vector are called strings, and they are not restricted to only being letters. You can define a string of numbers or symbols if you wish. Okay, let's take a look at logical variables now. Logical vectors store Boolean data, or true and false values. R considers T and F to be shorthand for true and false, so they are interchangeable and you can use either or both. Let's create a logical vector and let's call it Spock, after the ultimate superhero of logical reasoning, Mr. Spock from the Star Trek universe. Notice that I don't use quotation marks here and everything is in capital letters. This is a good moment to mention that R is a case-sensitive language and you want to be careful when calling objects or functions to match their casings. Let's check the type of Spock. It is logical. That sounds about right. Alright, as I mentioned, there are two more data types, complex and raw, but they are extremely unlikely to be used in data analysis. If you want to learn more about them for the sake of being thoroughly informed, feel free to consult the resources for this lesson or type into your script is.complex and run the line. This is the same as typing help and passing is.complex in parentheses, and both open up the help tab on the is.complex function. You can do the same for the raw basic type too. Fantastic! Well, that's it for this lesson. You learned a lot about data types and some new functions. Try to recall their names and what they're used for. Next, we'll take a little break from long lessons and we'll talk about coercion rules in R. It's a light lesson, so see you there. Bye for now, and live, code, and prosper.